Breaking right now, growing fears for the state of Prince Harry after he was pictured by Dumois at the James Taylor concert he attended last week, looking, shall we say, wired. It obviously follows that concerning image of him strolling up and down randomly the streets of London looking for God knows what. And even the pictures that Meghan Markle posted on her own Instagram of the James Taylor concert hardly show Harry in the best light. Angela Levin, Prince Harry's biographer, joins me now. Angela, what do you think is going on with Prince Harry? These pictures, or at least this one frame from Dumois, don't exactly paint a great picture of the Duke.
No, he looks as if he's just come off the street, doesn't he, really, somehow? But actually, he hasn't. It's a sort of, to me, it says, I've given up because you don't bother with how you look. You don't want to look smart. You're not going out to a nice concert, so you want to wear smart things. I mean, maybe that's just a female thing, but he just looks a wreck, doesn't he? And his face looks a wreck, and he's just not being very active. It was the only time he's smiling is when Meghan sort of cuddles him, and then he looks very happy, and got a very expensive hat on. But it's sort of like clicking a button. If Meghan's there hugging him, he smiles, and when she's not there or tells him off, he looks absolutely atrocious.
And it really does feel like Meghan is now using her husband as a prop for her business, Angela, because we've got this new post to celebrate the wedding anniversary on the As Ever Instagram. Now, can I just remind everyone, Meghan writes the As Ever posts, but she's done this incredibly weird thing where in the third person, she's posted sometimes two is better than one, wishing a very happy anniversary to our founder, Meghan, and her husband, Prince Harry. Then there's a second image, which I'll show you here, which actually shows Harry looking away from the camera. It's all about her. Oh, and guess who took the picture, Angela Levin? Jake Rosenberg, the
I was
man who has, well, at least has had some sort of chemistry with Meghan Markle over the years.
It's very interesting. I'm going to be naughty. Now, I think if she's got a very close relationship with this man, he will say something because it sort of implies that he's part of the family and he's very interested in it. But if he is very important to her, he would want her to know, but he wouldn't want anyone to expect anything too much. I'm sure you understand what I mean. And so he would be there, but be quite formal and saying, "Oh, happy birthday," or "Great, everything's wonderful." But he needs to be there so she knows he's there, but he's doing it very carefully so that he can't be accused of anything. That's my analysis of that one. A bit naughty, but there we are.
Very fascinating, isn't it? Harry's grey suit posted she wished herself a happy anniversary. What a loon. Royal News Network posted, we all know Meghan posted this herself and wrote it in the third person OG. I'm sure two is better than one in her book, when the other is either another Meghan or a subservient beta male who will do her bidding. And why is she wearing an ugly sack dress? And Paula M posted on this, why have Prince Harry showing his back and not holding her? Because she wants to be the center of attention or because it's easier to Photoshop him in like that. And of course, Angela Levin, this follows the publication yesterday of Meghan's latest mood board, which has got everyone talking for a whole load of reasons, actually, Angela. The pictures are weird. Lots of them are clearly manipulated by Photoshop. The bump certainly appears to be manipulated, the moon bump, the baby bump, whatever you want to call it. Lots of odd pictures of Archie and Lilibet from odd angles far away. What is your overall take on this very weird mood board?
I think it is very weird. I mean, the choice of pictures are absolutely appalling. I mean, you don't actually, I think she was trying to prove that she actually had a baby. So she's got her whole body that you can see, a huge sticking out body. But you can't see that it's actually Meghan. So I wouldn't actually think too much of that. But it's not something you do. It's absolutely not. One of the things they missed out at, which I think would be most strange, is that when they pretended they got married with the Archbishop of Canterbury 2 days before the actual wedding, when she said it was so wonderful, they wanted it to be just between them. They didn't want lots of people around there. That was for the public, not for me. But it cost £22 million. She's just sort of dismissing. And she said it was so wonderful. So why isn't that there? I mean, if that's the key to them getting married, why did they miss that out? Also, the one where Archie is kissing Lilibet is very strange because she would have only been just over one. And I don't think her way she's standing and the way she's responding to his kiss is very mature for a child who's just over one. I'm not sure whether that's quite right either, but it's actually a bit sickly as well because you see a picture after picture after picture after picture of her cuddling him and looking at him, and he's so wonderful and he's so marvelous. But we're realists. Most people are realists. You don't go, "Ah, that's really lovely." I mean, one is nice, two is nice. 75 isn't nice. You'll sit with it all. And it's when you know how she's been treating him and how he's got to disappear for several weeks if she says so because she doesn't want him there. She wants to do it herself. I mean, there's also rumors that she wants to be a billionaire but doesn't think Harry will be able to reach that. So the whole thing is you say one thing and then you contradict yourself. And I think that's what she loves to do because that gets people talking about it and saying, "I'm not sure. What does she mean? What do you think she means?" And so that way she's kept in the front of public eye. And I think that's what she likes. And it makes me very angry because it's just unkind. Well, those pictures aren't in it, are they? That's just
No, no
the
royal,
phony. Yeah.
Angela. No William, no Catherine, no Charles. She was down the trenches. It's us against the world, Angela. Look, I wanted to show you what Lady Colin Campbell has had to say about this. She's obviously done a lot of work over the years about Meghan's, what she describes as a magnancy. And she's posted, "One wonders whether Meghan Markle is a fool or thinks everyone else is. Can she be so obtuse as to think it appropriate to post 2 photographs on her love board, congratulating herself for being married for 7 years, one of which is identified as a scan of Archie and the other a photograph of her with a massive baby bump that looks suspiciously as if it began growing between the 2 fried eggs slathered across her chest? Would anyone but gullible fools like the Sussex squad accept either photograph at face value without asking questions? Where are the ordinary identifying features that customarily accompany scans of babies? Why isn't there even one identifying feature? Where is the name of the mother? Where is the identifying code of the unit where it was taken? That scan could be of any baby. Why would anyone accept the word of a proven liar for anything? Are we supposed to ignore the claim she had furthered on her own behalf that the King and the Princess of Wales are racist while accepting that is a scan of Archie when he was within her? As for the grotesque photograph of the massive baby bump, how credible is it that someone who is so private that she couldn't pose for a photograph on the steps of the hospital where she had her baby delivered can do a cheap version of Annie Leibovitz's celebrated Demi Moore front cover for Vanity Fair? If anyone is naive enough to think that Meghan has posted these 2 photographs to convince the doubters that she popped out those 2 kids, think again. If she were sincere in removing all doubt, she would simply get the obstetricians who attended at the birth of those 2 children to issue categorical statements to the effect that she gave birth to those children. Or she could go one further and get Buckingham Palace to do so, thereby releasing the royal family from at least some of the misery she has created for them. Until such time as she does that, let's not buy her manipulations. It's also the absolute end and tackiness for the wife of any royal or indeed any decent man to issue a photograph of a naked protuberance, whether it is meant to contain a baby or simply hot air. Angela, she's not buying it, Lady C. Are you?
No, I don't think anybody would buy it. The one thing that worried me as well, I didn't feel was true, was Harry with baby Archie on the day he was born. Now, often that's not a very good idea to start take pictures like that. And she was supposed to be very very ill afterwards. So what does that mean? I think it was very difficult. But actually, can I just say that when they said this about being racists and what color would the child's face be, this was before Meghan was pregnant, actually. She wasn't pregnant with Archie. This happened a long time before. And I think it was even before they got married. It was just a nice talk after their engagement. I'm virtually certain about that, but certainly they didn't have a baby. So it was just chatting like anybody can do, meaning no harm. But they gathered this to make something where they would look really bad.
It's all very fascinating, Angela, that is for sure. By the way, Meghan is certainly conscious of the coverage because, again, I've listened to today's episode of Confessions of a Female Founder, so you don't have to. She's sitting down with a woman called Cassandra Morales Thurswell. We can show her. She's the founder of the viral beauty brand Kitsch, and someone who Meghan did actually know before she was famous. But Angela, it's no coincidence that she uses this podcast episode to talk about being pregnant. Listen. But first, you know I never recommend anything unless I truly believe in it. Today, I've got something absolutely game-changing for you. Have you ever stopped to think about how crucial comfort is, especially down there? Well, let me tell you, today's Outspoken is proudly sponsored by Sheath Underwear, the revolutionary brand shaking up men's comfort across the globe. And here's what makes Sheath even better. It was founded by a US Army veteran, Robert Patton, while he was serving in Iraq back in 2007. That's right, this isn't just any underwear brand. It was designed for the toughest conditions imaginable. Patton was battling relentless heat and discomfort in full combat gear, and he thought there has to be a better way. So he created one. And let's be honest, traditional underwear just doesn't cut it anymore. Sheath's innovative dual pouch design ensures your comfort all day long, keeping things separate, cool, and fresh. So imagine your essentials being comfortably cradled away from unwanted friction and heat. Trust me, it is genuinely transformative. I've personally tested these at the gym, on long days at work, even just relaxing at home. And I'm telling you, once you've experienced Sheath, there is simply no turning back. They're stylish, they're supportive, and they deliver unmatched comfort. It's like upgrading from economy to first class, but for your underwear. Right now, I'm offering you an exclusive 20% discount at sheath.com. Yes, that's 20% off your entire order when you use my special promo code Outspoken at checkout. So what are you waiting for? Let me tell you though, Sheath is also the perfect present for your husband, your boyfriend, your son, your brother, your hard-to-buy-for best mates. But this is even better, ladies. If you're interested, there are female versions available for you as well, and you can see some of them being modeled here alongside the boss of the UFC, because Sheath is the first official underwear of the UFC. So click on the link below, go to www.sheath.com, enter Outspoken at checkout for your major discount, and you can thank me later when you're feeling comfortable, confident, and ready to tackle anything your day throws at you. Sheath underwear, redefining comfort one pair at a time. But now, back to the show.
And there is something about, I will say for myself, like, especially when they're babies. And yes, the crying, before I was a mom, and I've always wanted to be a mom. Before I was a mom, I was like, oh gosh, I'm going to give a speech with a baby on my hip. I had a whole vision. I was like, I'm just going to, and then you fast forward, granted, I had a lot of external things happening by the time I had both pregnancies and both babies, but it was not the way I envisioned it.
So Angela, that's her very clearly hitting back at the rumours. You've got the moon bump picture one day, then you've got the, talking about the pregnancies on the podcast. And remember, this is the first time she's spoken about them on the podcast.
Yeah, but tell me, is that about how she's done well with her work? Is it about her friends ideas of how she has done well. We're not interested in her baby and her birth. I mean, that's not what this whole series is supposed to be about. And she's just going on and on and on about every single detail about herself, which, thank you very much, we don't really want to know. And the baby story is also something we particularly don't want to know. She should just shut up and stop doing this. It's endlessly round and round and round. How she could do another series of what she's going to be like, with Netflix, if they do want that next time, it's just going to be so boring, so horrific, and it's obsessional that she's got to go on and on and on. And you think, I can't bear it. Like you say, I've read this, so you don't have to. So most people actually don't want to know the details. Absolutely not.
No, I mean, I have to be honest. And I only share the moments that I believe are instructive, right, about Meghan. And so there is one interesting part in the introduction of this interview with this woman, Cassandra, where she makes it clear that Meghan is almost overstepping the mark. She does it in a very friendly way, but overstepping the mark by referring to her by her nickname, Cassie. Listen to this.
I was just texting with Heather.
She texted me last night. She was like, good luck tomorrow.
Oh, I love that. I said, I need to run. I'm going to go do the interview with Cassie right now. She's like, tell her I said hi.
By the way, I love that you call me Cassie. I
know.
love
Sorry.
it.
Cassandra.
No. I love it because, there's such a small handful of people that call me Cassie, and it's like my immediate family and Meghan Markle.
It's like Meg or M. It's the same thing. It's how we met all those years ago.
I know. It's so sweet. I mean, we met in a very sliding glass door moments of our lives, I think.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I was auditioning, and your cousin, one of my best friends, Heather, and I was like, I just need some style.
Yes.
I need my closet to look good. She goes, my cousin Cassie could help.
Yeah.
She does that. She has great style. And you coming to my little house that I was renting, and I remember my closet. Do you remember that closet door was within the bathroom?
Yes. It's like, we'll call it, Meghan, we'll call it a bungalow. We'll be chic.
It was a bungalow.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you had to walk through my bedroom, past my bed, past the shower and the sink, which were right there, and the toilet. And then right across from that was the door that opened into my very small closet, to which I said, Cassie, can you help make this stylish and give me a vibe?
I mean, I so get why you're yawning, Angela, but obviously the point of what she's trying to say, right, is, oh, I was just some little woman living in my little bungalow. No, you weren't. You were being funded by your Emmy Award-winning father. Anyway, but that wasn't the point I was making, because what's interesting is Meghan is clearly thinking, well, I'm going to keep calling you Cassie, even though you've said only my close family members call me that. Now, that's in stark contrast, isn't it, when Mindy Kaling on With Love Meghan dared to call Meghan Markle, and she's like, it's Sussex now, and she stepped in. And then later on, you hear she's still calling her Cassie. Listen.
And I'm just so proud of you, Cassie.
Thank you. Thank you so
I
much.
really
I'm so
am.
proud of you too. I mean, it's so wild. I remember thinking, I wonder if Meghan and I will run into each other again one day. That would be so wild. And we did. And that's so cool.
Our paths were meant to cross. I'm so glad
Again.
they did. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, of course. Oh my gosh, this was such an honor.
So, I mean, Angela, look, obviously there's always all the awful, that all over each other stuff.
This silly giggling of, very small children. It just makes me so irritable. It's just
Yeah, but
ghastly,
she's
isn't it?
such a hypocrite, though, isn't she? Because
Yes.
it's like,
Yeah.
this woman's name is Cassandra. She's just made it clear to you that no one outside of her immediate family calls her Cassie. And did you almost hear the way that Meghan emphasized the word at the end of the podcast, Cassie? And what this woman, Cassandra, was trying to do was clearly make a point to Meghan in a polite way. You're calling me the wrong name, but I'm going to do it politely. But it just shows you Meghan's a total hypocrite. I've also got to this is really cringe, Angela, but Meghan compares her business to working in the garden. Listen.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think you guys know I really like being in the garden. And running a business, funny enough, it's a lot like gardening. Some seasons are for blooming, others are for planting seeds, but most of the work, especially early on, it's tending to the soil. It's the foundation. It's what everything is going to grow out of. You got to make sure the roots are strong enough to carry what's coming next. And this is especially true when you're bootstrapping a business, running a business independent of any investors, private equity, VC. You are doing it on your own. You have to be so intentional and careful with all of your choices. And you can't expect a harvest to happen overnight. That's impossible. And look, this can be challenging, especially in a culture that praises growth at all cost. You are in the race to succeed, and success looks like numbers. That's what you're after. But financing your own company forces a very different kind of rhythm. It invites you to choose patience over speed. And guess what? Eventually, with a strong vision and all of that care on the details, oh, that garden will grow.
Oh, I mean, literally, I feel myself physically shuddering at it, Angela. But it's also so ridiculous because
It's so
Meghan is
phony,
acting
isn't it?
as if she has done this all with her own money. You're doing it with Harry's inheritance from the Queen Mother and from Diana. You're doing it with the money that King Charles has provided over the years. It's like you're not some self-starting businesswoman. Please,
No.
woman.
No, she hasn't at all. But she also says it as if she's somebody in a play, doesn't she? All this very strange change of voice all the time. And I'm so sad. Then it's so wonderful. You know, it can drive anybody mad because it's just the whole thing is absolutely phony, isn't it? And she doesn't accept that anybody's help is valuable from the king and William and anybody who's in the royal family. She wipes them out and then actually wants to be part of the royal family. I mean, it's the same sort of thing that nobody can actually really help her because she's beyond them and she's wonderful and she doesn't have any gratitude. So the fact that she's talking about the earth and how to deal with the earth, and that's how you're making money in a business. It's absolutely laughable, isn't it? Because it's got nothing to do with it. That sort of trying to find a connection. It's just boring, doesn't work, unpleasant, rubbish.
Yes, rubbish. I couldn't agree more, Angela. Unpleasant rubbish. I love that. Now, Angela, really interesting scenes at the Chelsea Flower Show yesterday because King Charles was there with Camilla. They both looked so happy, didn't they, to be there? It was really lovely. But
Yeah, well, they both love gardening, and well,
Yes.
they do love gardening, but they don't use it for that's how they live. They just enjoy
Yes.
gardening, and the sun
Yeah.
shines, and they feel okay.
I know, and
So
and obviously he's unwell, so it's good to be out and about. But the interaction I was interested in, Angela, because of all of the context of what's been going on with the Beckhams, was his meeting with David Beckham, where it was revealed that their friendship is now so close, Angela. Charles was even asking David, did you receive the present that I sent you? So this is actually a proper friendship now. And can you just imagine how much that's going to horrify the Montecito Mourners?
yes, but I thought that was very strange. Now, if he'd given them a present, surely immediately he should have thanked them. It's a week now. When did he have it? That's how I immediately thought. You didn't tell the king that you had it. You didn't thank him straight away. How long are you going to wait? I thought that was very strange because it was apparently a very expensive present. Well, you must send a message and say how wonderful it was. I mean, he managed to do something on social media about how he was going to enjoy it being there, and how all the money that they earned would go to charity. All that very good. But I think, if he did that, he could have had one adjacent to it and say, "Oh, I'm so moved by the fact that the king has given me something." Where was that? But he has in his jacket the King's Rose, another rose that's been made for the king. I mean, Catherine's had one, and now there's another one. And he was very careful to make sure that was there. I mean, I think he's very, very trying to pull out every possibility to actually please the king so that he gets made a Sir. Absolutely
Oh,
sure
yeah.
of it.
And I mean, look, the Beckhams do have an ulterior motive, but I just find it fascinating that you've got
Yeah.
the royals, because obviously we had Catherine last week wearing the Victoria Beckham pantsuit, making a point publicly that she knows what the Beckhams are going through. She understands that heartbreak over the family fallout. We have the king and the queen aligning very closely with the Beckhams, and it's just in such stark contrast, isn't it, to this meeting between Brooklyn Beckham and Nicola Peltz and Harry.
What did you
and
think?
Meghan.
Can I ask you a question?
Please.
Do you think they discussed it, the two men, the two fathers who've got trouble with their sons? Do you think they discussed it together, or do you think absolutely not?
Charles and David.
Yes.
Well, I don't think they would have discussed it publicly there, but I think
No.
but I think I think it's more likely that there would have been a conversation between David and William. Is my sense, because obviously they are more similar ages, aren't they? But I don't know. I mean, Charles is he goes there, doesn't he? He's not afraid of having like the quite personal conversations. But I would say it would be Charles that would raise it rather than David. Do you agree?
Yes. I think he would say something because he would know that the pain that they both have had.
Yeah, because I guess they're both
but
dads.
I think they wouldn't trust. I don't think the king would trust him, that he wouldn't say too much, but he could actually just have a sentence, and so that they both felt that they understood each other.
Well,
Quite touching in a way.
Well, it does feel like there is, I guess, a sense of trust now between the Beckhams and the royal family. They have certainly entered that prize inner sanctum. Not that many celebrities get there, Angela. Like Judi Dench, obviously, is there, right, with her friendship with Camilla. But it feels like the Beckhams are there, and I love it. I've got to ask you, Angela, though, about Camilla's new dog, Molly. This is so cute. What's it about?
Well, she got two dogs from that were left in the street, and she loved them. She gave one mainly to the king, and she had the other one mainly for herself. But she loves dogs because, particularly this breed, which are very naughty, or a mixed breed, she likes them to be mischievous and rush off and perhaps come back with a mouse, or actually eat something off the table that they probably shouldn't. I mean, she's all for fun with them. But one of them became very ill and had to be put to sleep, and she was devastated, crying. I mean, she really does love them. So she waited a bit, and then she's got this little one who is quite small, and a mixture of about 3 or 4. I don't quite know how that happens, but there he is. He looks mischief, doesn't he, up there? And she's got him to love and to be with. But the funniest thing was that the dog that she particularly liked, she took to the place where she got it, and she was opening up for another a place where the dogs could go. And she asked if the dog could actually help. So you don't say no, do you, to her? And she got a sausage and tied it on to a string, and gave it to the dog, and she started eating it like thunder, and they pulled it open, and so he opened the curtain that was over, that this was opened up by Her Majesty and all that sort of thing, and she was hysterical. hysterically in laughter. She just could not stop. And it was so touching to see that. And the dog was very happy because she was eating everything that she could on this sausage. And so it was really a way of fun. And that's what she likes. She likes a bit of naughtiness and a bit of fun. So she's got the dog now. And because the dogs could go to the flower show, the dog, I think, went along as well, or at least he was shown.
How lovely.
It might have been a bit naughty, but it's sweet, isn't it? It's very touching to feel like that about animals. And
Yeah, it is.
it's the same with horses, that she just does love them.
Brilliant insight from Angela Levin, who is, of course, also Queen Camilla's biographer. And please, if you want first access to the royal after show every single day here on Outspoken, sign up to my Substack, www.outspoken.live. It's a great way to connect with me personally. We do chats. I'll email you every now and then. Not too often, though. Don't worry, I'm not going to spam you. www.outspoken.live is the address. Protect me from big tech cancellation. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.